Hi there, this is Doc J. Zimmerman here, and we're going to talk some more about chiropractic philosophy. One of the original tenets in chiropractic philosophy is an old saying that you don't really hear so much anymore. That saying is, the power that made the body heals the body. And in chiropractic circles, depending on the type of chiropractor that you go to, you may hear it. It's a very strong, it has very strong philosophical roots. But the reason you don't hear it so much now is because chiropractic over the recent times has been trying to prove itself with science, and a lot of chiropractors have sort of veered away from the philosophical roots. And as I've talked about in the previous video, you can't really veer away from the philosophical roots because chiropractic has three distinct aspects to it. It's a science, it's an art, and it's a philosophy. And you have to have a reason you do what you do. You know, there has to be some fundamental beliefs that inspire us to keep building this profession and to keep helping people. And as I talked about, yeah, the science is there. We have research and organizations that are constantly working on chiropractic research. The art is the technique of chiropractic and how individual chiropractors apply that art. And then there's the philosophy, the reason why, the reason for being, right? That's philosophy. So, as I said, one of the fundamental tenets of chiropractic philosophy is the power that made the body heals the body. And I think a lot of chiropractors try to avoid that topic because I guess it sort of connotates religion. You know, the power that made the body is God. But then you have patients who maybe are atheists and don't believe in religion. So you can still use that chiropractic philosophy, the power that made the body. See, in all living things exists a universal intelligence. And if you're religious, then you believe that universal intelligence was a higher power. It was God. God built the body. And if you're not religious, that universal intelligence came from eons ago when the body was just two atoms and gradually evolved from there. There was some sort of intelligence directing that. So the power that made the body holds true, and so it's sort of weird that chiropractors would not talk about it a lot. It's weird that they would just sort of ignore that philosophical root is there, because whether your patients are religious or whether they're not religious, there is some universal intelligence that has created the body, and it directs and it communicates, and it's responsible for all our body's functions. So in chiropractic, we always, the beginning of chiropractic, when we looked at the nervous system, we knew that the brain was the master controller of the nervous system, and for the body to work properly, the brain had to communicate through the spinal cord and through the spinal nerves, through all the body's parts and systems. And then that's how the body worked. And that brain has something in it, all right? There's what they would call an innate intelligence. It exists in the brain. It's what directs everything in the body. And the chiropractic philosophy is that health and healing came from above your brain, down your spinal cord, and out through your spinal nerves to your body. So above, down, and out, and inside out is another chiropractic philosophical term. So as you can see, even if we apply science to the philosophy now, you can easily connect the two, because the nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord and the spinal nerves. And it's a fact that the nervous system controls everything in your body. But to this date, a scientist doesn't really know what separates us from life and death. We do know that, when you die, your body ceases to function, and hearts aren't beating and lungs aren't breathing. But what is that spark of life? All right, what is that thing inside of us that created us, that keeps us alive, and it's responsible for everything? So what we're talking about again is that power, the power that made the body. And again, is it in a religious like myself, God is that universal intelligence. And then for an atheist, that universal intelligence would be more based in science. But it's that spark inside of us that allows our body to function, it allows our body to heal, and it allows our body to live. So one of the, as I said, the basic tenet in chiropractic philosophy back since 1895 is the power that made the body heals the body, and it still rings true today. All right? There's nothing, if I was to cut my finger right now, naturally blood would come out, but within a few seconds or two, the blood would stop leaking, it would stop bleeding. And I'm not staring at my finger telling my blood to stop bleeding. I'm not telling my blood to clot. All right? The body's doing that all on its own. That's its universal intelligence. That's the power that made the body. It's healing the body. So that power exists in every aspect of our internal functions and our internal workings. So I just wanted to go over that a little bit because it's an important part of chiropractic philosophy that you don't hear so much about. So always remember, everything in the body happens for a reason, and whether it's directed by a universal intelligence, the power that made the body, okay, God, or science, it all rings true today. All right, we'll be back with more chiropractic philosophy.